Hello everyone, welcome to Apti Plus Academy for Civil Sources. Today I am here for a daily news and editorial analysis for 20 and 21st of February 2024, and this editorial analysis is going to be important for all three stages of UPSC, which are UPSC Prelims, Mains and Interview process. And apart from UPSC exams, this editorial analysis is going to be important for all the government exams in India. So without further delay, let us begin the analysis. Recently, India has been invited by International Energy Agency to be its full member, and in this context, this news becomes important for UPSC Prelims and also for the GS2 of UPSC Mains. And under GS2, this topic falls under the syllabus, the groupings and the agreements involving India. The point of discussion of this topic is going to be the background of India's association with IEA. Then we'll understand about the criteria for joining IEA as its member. Then lastly, we'll understand about the IEA and its reports, and we'll also understand about the PYQ that has been asked from the similar topic. Now let us begin the analysis. So talking about the background of India's association with International Energy Agency, India became an associate member of IEA in March 2017, and after that India began its engagement with IEA. And earlier in 2021, India also inked a strategic partnership agreement with IEA, and India is also the world's third largest consumer of energy. So for these reasons that India wants to be the member of International Energy Agency, because India is an associate member of IEA, and India has begun the strategic partnership agreement with IEA, and India is also the world's third largest consumer of energy. So for these reasons, India has been invited as the full-time member of IEA. So these are the backgrounds of India's association with IEA. Now let us understand about the criteria for joining the International Energy Agency. So far as the criteria for IEA membership is concerned, the countries who wants to join the IEA as a member should be the member of OECD. The second criteria for joining the IEA as its member is that the crude oil reserves of the country should be equivalent to the 90 days of its previous year's net import. That means the country's strategic oil reserves should be for the 90 days of its previous year's net import. So that means the India should have the import coverage for 90 days for the crude oil. But currently India only has the strategic oil reserves equivalent to 9.5 days only. And even if the refineries and depots are added to the strategic reserve of India, the total strategic oil reserve of India would be only of 66 days. So that will be still below the requirement of IEA. So the India's strategic oil reserve is still much below the IEA requirement. And the third criteria for joining the IEA as its member is that the demand restraint programs, that is, the country who wants to join the IEA as its member should have the national program to reduce the oil consumption by 10%. So the country who wants to join the IEA should have the national plan to reduce the oil consumption by at least 10%. So these are the criteria for joining the IEA membership. But currently, as we know that India is not a member of OECD, and India's strategic oil reserve is not for 90 days, which is the criteria for joining the IEA as its member. And so far as the demand restraint programs are concerned, India has many programs to reduce the oil consumption in India. So, India has programs such as the National Biofuel Program and the ethanol blending programs, etc., which aims to reduce the natural oil consumption in India. So, these are the criteria for joining IEA as its member. Now, let us understand more about the IEA and its reports. So far as the International Energy Agency is concerned, it is an autonomous intergovernmental organization established in 1974 in Paris, France. So, the headquarters of the IEA is located in Paris, that is in France. The total membership of International Energy Agency is 31, and there are 13 association countries in IEA, and the International Energy Agency countries accounts for the 75% of the global energy demands. So, for this reason, this agency is very important, and the International Energy Agency mainly focuses on the three areas, which is the economic development, energy security, and the environmental protections. So, these three E's are the main focus areas of the International Energy Agency, and there are few important reports which are published by the International Energy Agency, which are the World Energy Outlook Report, World Energy Investment Report, World Energy Statistics Report, World Energy Balances Report, Energy Technology Perspectives, and India Energy Outlook Report. So, these are the all important reports which are published by International Energy Agency, and these reports are very important from UPSC prelims perspective, because in UPSC prelims the questions are directly asked that these reports are published by which organization. So, you have to know the reports which are published by International Energy Agency and the other organizations. So, these were the important points about the International Energy Agency. Now, let us understand the UPCPYQ that has been asked from the similar topic. So, this is the UPSC previous year's question that was asked from this topic, and the question was, with reference to the International Energy Agency, consider the following statements. Statement 1 is, it was established based on the framework of Organization of Economic Cooperation and Development, that is OECD, and statement 2 is, the IEA releases World Energy Outlook Report, and statement 3 is, India is a full-time member of IEA. Which of the statements given above are correct? So, we just discussed that the International Energy Agency has been established under the framework of OECD, and the IEA releases the World Energy Outlook Report. So, we discussed that as well, and India is not a full-time member of IEA. India is just an associate member of IEA. So, you can easily answer this question by knowing the few facts about IEA. So, this type of question is asked in UPSC. So, you have to know the basic facts about IEA and the reports released by it. Now, let us move into another topic of discussion for today. Before we move on to another topic of discussion for today, I have a good news for you. Apti Plus Academy for Civil Services is conducting a free online mock test on 25th of February from 11 AM to 1 PM, and the name of this mock test is Prelims Mirror. And the most important part of this Prelims Mirror test is that the top 3 rankers of this test would be given access to 49 high quality tests prepared by the experts from Apti Plus Academy for Civil Services, and the top 4 to top 10th rankers would also be given the access to top 10 high quality tests prepared by the Apti Plus Academy for Civil Services. So, this is a golden opportunity for you all. You should not miss this opportunity. You can register yourself by scanning the QR code given here, and you can also get the details of this test in the description section. Apart from Prelims Mirror, those who are appearing for UPSC CAC 2024, 𝐔𝐬𝐢𝐚 All India Test Series program is must attempt for all, because this test has 49,000 high quality questions curated by the experts from Apti Plus Academy for Civil Services, and this test series has also the recorded discussion on these tests. And the most important part of this 𝐔𝐬𝐢𝐚 All India Test Series program is that if the student finds the test to be unsatisfactory, money will be refunded to them. So, this is also a golden opportunity for you all. You can register yourself for 𝐔𝐬𝐢𝐚 All India Test Series program by scanning the QR code given here. You can also get the details of this test in the description section. So, these were the important announcements for you. Now, let us move into another topic of discussion for today. Recently, the Department of Administrative Reforms and Public Grievances released a report called the National E-Governance Services Delivery Way Forward Annual Report, and this report becomes important from UPSC prelims perspective and also for the GS2 of UPSC means. And under GS2, the syllabus that this news falls under is the e-governance applications, and in this topic we will discuss what is e-governance, and then we will discuss about the key highlights of the report. Then we will understand about the challenges that India faces in the e-governance services delivery in India. Then lastly, we will understand about the government initiatives that has been taken in this regard. And lastly, we will understand about the government initiatives that has been taken in this regard. So, without further delay, let us begin the analysis. As we just discussed, the context of this news is that the Department of Administrative Reforms and Public Grievances released a report called National E-Governance Service Delivery Assessment Way Forward Annual Report 2023, and this report showcases the efforts taken by different states to improve the e-governance services delivery in India. So, the initiatives taken by the different state governments with regard to the e-governance delivery has been taken into account in this report. And so far as the e-governance is concerned, the e-governance means the electronic governance, that means the use of information and communication technology for the enhanced governance in India. So, the e-governance basically uses the technologies such as AI, the cloud computing, etc. for the enhanced governance in India. So, this is the e-governance. So far as the application of ICT is concerned, they are basically useful for efficiency, effectiveness, transparency and accountability in governance. So, these were the important facts about the e-governance in India. Now, let us understand in detail about the key highlights of the report. As per the findings of the report, Jammu and Kashmir offer the highest number of e-services delivery among all the states and UTs in India, and earlier only 48% of mandatory e-services were available in India, but now this figure has increased to 76%. Now more than 76% of mandatory e-services are available in India. So, that is a huge percentage increase in the e-services availability in India. As per the report, Jammu and Kashmir, Kerala, Assam and Odisha provide 100% of their services through the identified single unified portal. That means these states provide 100% of their services through the single portal, and that is through the e-services. And the last important finding of this report was the tourism sector has the highest usage of e-services in India, and the tourism sector in 23 out of 36 states has used the e-services. So, these were the important findings of the NASDA Way Forward Annual Report 2023. Now, let us discuss about the challenges faced by India in terms of adoption of e-governance in India. Although India is forerunner in e-governance services adoption rates in world, India faces many challenges in terms of e-governance adoption in India. So, the first challenge that India faces is low literacy levels, especially the digital literacy. The digital literacy of India is very low, and many people in India cannot use the smartphones and the websites that is designed for them, and that low level of digital literacy in India affects the e-governance adoption rates in India. The second challenge that India faces in terms of e-governance adoption is the language barrier. Most of the e-governance applications and the websites that has been designed for people use the English language, and most of the people in India do not understand English. So, they cannot read the English language that is there in the websites and the apps. So, the language is one of the most important barrier. The third challenge that India faces in terms of e-governance adoption is the unfriendly user interface. So, the most of the government websites that has been designed for the people or for the public uses are unfriendly in nature. So, it is very difficult for the users to use the websites or the apps designed for the people. So, these barriers make the websites and the apps designed for the people user unfriendly. So, the unfriendly user interface of the government of India is one of the challenge that India faces in terms of e-governance in India. The fourth challenge that India faces is related to the difficulty in access to the e-governance. For instance, many people in India do not have access to smartphones and laptops. So, for these reasons, these people are not able to access the government service, or they are not being informed about the government decisions or the government policies in India. So, this again poses a challenge of e-governance adoption in India. Fifth challenge that India faces in terms of e-governance in India is the data privacy. So, This is most important challenge that India faces, because India does not have data security law and the data privacy law. So, the threat of the piracy or the data hacks or the data theft is very common in India. So, for this reason, this data security and data privacy is one of the major concern for India. So, these are the main challenges that India faces in terms of the e-governance adoption in India. Now, let us discuss the important initiatives that the government of India has taken in regard to e-governance adoption. The government of India has started many initiatives in terms of e-governance in India. The initiatives are National E-Governance Plan, Digital India Initiative, JAM Trinity, which is the Jan Dhan Aadhaar Mobile Trinity, E-Kranti, which aims to ensure a government-wide transformation by delivering all government services electronically. So, e-governance is basically a mission or the movement, and the mobile app called the 𝐷𝐸𝐴𝐺, which is a single platform for accessing the government services. So, the 𝐷𝐸𝐴𝐺 app has all the initiatives that is taken by the government of India in terms of e-governance services in India, and the goods and services tax network, which is GST network, and there is GEM, which is government e-marketplace, which is a portal for government procurement, and there is DigiLocker, which is a platform for issuance and the verification of the documents, and there is Pradhan Mantri Gramin Digital Saksharta Abhiyan, which is PM Disha, which is the initiative for promoting the digital literacy in rural areas. So, these were the important e-governance initiatives of Government of India. Now, let us move into another topic of discussion for today. Recently, Prime Minister Narendra Modi held bilateral meetings with the President of Madagascar on the sidelines of World Government Summit, which was held in Dubai, that is in UAE. And in this context, this news becomes important for UPSC prelims perspective, that is mapping for prelims. And the point of discussion of this topic is going to be the Madagascar and the Indian Ocean island countries. So, without further ado, let us begin the analysis. Since the Madagascar was in news, we need to know about the Madagascar and its history and also the maps of Madagascar. So, talking about the Madagascar, it is the second largest island nation in the world after Indonesia, and the Madagascar is the world's fourth largest island, trailing only behind Greenland, New Guinea and Borneo. So, you need to understand the difference that the Madagascar is the second largest island nation and the fourth largest island. So, Indonesia is the largest island country and the Greenland is the largest island. Since Greenland is part of Denmark, that is Kingdom of Denmark, and New Guinea is part of Papua New Guinea, and Borneo has been divided into Malaysia, Indonesia, etc. Madagascar is the fourth largest island. So, in terms of the size, it is the fourth largest island. So, you need to know all these difference, and it is located in Indian Ocean to the east of Tanzania and Mozambique, and Madagascar is part of Africa. So, you need to understand this point, that despite Madagascar being out of African peninsula, it is part of Africa, and this Madagascar was discovered by the explorer, which is Marco Polo. So, Marco Polo discovered Madagascar for the first time. So, these are the important facts about the Madagascar. Now, let us do the mappings of the islands in the Indian Ocean region. These are the important islands that are located in the Indian Ocean region, and you can see the map of the islands that is located in Indian Ocean region. This is Maldives, this is Seychelles, and this is Assumption Island. This island is important because India is building the military bases here in Assumption Island, and there is Agalega Islands here. This is Diego Garcia. Diego Garcia is the overseas territory of United Kingdom, and Diego Garcia is also claimed by Mauritius. So, you have to remember this point, and Mauritius is located here and Madagascar is here. So, Madagascar is the island country and it is located in the east of Africa. So, these are the important points that you should remember. In UPSC, many times the questions has been asked from Diego Garcia, Assumption Islands, etc., because these islands had been in news many times, and for instance in 2000 18 UPSC had asked a question that Diego Garcia recently seen in news is located in which ocean? So, your answer should be Indian Ocean, and you should remember the location of these islands and the north to south arrangements of these islands as well. So, these were the important mappings so far as the island territories located in the Indian Ocean region. So, these are the maps that you should do so far as the island countries or the islands located in the Indian Ocean region. Now, let us move into another topic of discussion for today. Recently, the Tarai Arc Landscape of Nepal received the UN Award for Ecosystem Restoration, and in this context, this news becomes important for the UPSC prelims perspective, that is for the facts for prelims. And the point of discussion of this topic is going to be the context of the news. We will understand why this topic was in news. We will do the mapping of the Tarai Arc Landscape, then we will understand what is Tarai Arc Landscape and the aims of the Tarai Arc Landscape initiative. So, without further ado, let us begin the analysis. So, as we just discussed, the context of this news is that the Nepal's Tarai Arc Landscape initiative earned the UN recognition for ecosystem restoration, and for this reason this topic was in news. And you can see the map of Tarai Arc Landscape here. This green shaded region is the Tarai Arc Landscape, TAR landscape, and this Tarai Arc Landscape is located between the Yamuna river in India and the Bagmati river in Nepal. So, you have to remember that between which two rivers that this Tarai Arc Landscape is located. So, this was the basic map of Tarai Arc Landscape. Now, let us understand more in detail about the Tarai Arc Landscape initiative. So far as the Tarai Arc Landscape initiative is concerned, it is a transboundary biodiversity hotspot that was launched in 2001, and it aims to conserve the critical habitats for tigers, rhinos, elephants, etc., and it covers the ecosystems of the Tarai region. So, Tarai region are basically located in the north of India, that is in the borders between Nepal and Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, etc. So, the Tarai Arc Landscape aims to conserve tigers, rhinos, elephants, etc. in these regions and the ecosystem in these regions. And this Tarai Arc Landscape spans over 900 km from Bagmati river, which is located in Nepal, to the Yamuna river in India. We just discussed about it, and it extends across 5 million hectares and supports over 7 million people. So, these are the important facts about the Tarai Arc Landscape initiative that you should know about. And the most important fact about Tarai Arc Landscape initiative is that it aims to foster the transboundary conservation efforts. So, this is the main aim of the Tarai Arc Landscape initiative. And talking about the UN Restoration Flagship, was commenced in 2022, and these are initiatives recognized by the UN Decade of Ecosystem Restoration 2021-30. So, the UN Decade of Ecosystem Restoration is from 2021 to 2030, and this UN Decade of Ecosystem Restoration recognizes the World Restoration Flagship, that is UN World Restoration Flagships. And this flagship is led by UNEP and FAO, this is important point, and it is part of UN's commitment to restore 1 billion hectares of the ecosystem. So, these are the important facts that you should know about. You should know about this organization which gave the award to the TAL initiative of Nepal, and you should know about the TAL initiative as well. So, these were the important facts about the TAL initiative and the UN World Restoration Flagship. And this was also the last topic of analysis for today's daily news and editorial analysis. And today as well, I have come up with an important quote of the day for you, and let us look at the quote that I have got for you. The quote of the day for today is that never give up because today is hard, tomorrow will be worse, but day after tomorrow will be sunshine. So that was the quote that was given by the Jack Ma, the founder of Alibaba, and this quote is relevant for all the UPSC aspirants and all the government job aspirants, because they are struggling for their job. But you should believe in your journey, because a sunshine will come to your life one day in the form of good result in your exam. So with that quote, I am concluding today's session. We'll meet again in the next video. Till then, take care.